ban first pick in the blue side. TGF, TGF wanted the last pick. They want the counter pick.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really strong pick to have that counter pick. You know, they don't want to pick their top lane and, you know, their mid lane and whatever, like last game, and then find themselves, oh, hey, you know, we've got a weird team comp that they kind of counter out. So, you know, counter pick is definitely a safe pick in that regards. Absolute Legends, they aren't really that well known for, you know, a number of really top heroes that you're like, oh my god, if I don't ban this hero, we're going to lose. It's the, you know, greatest team comp ever. So it's not really that much of a concern to give up first pick. There are some teams where giving up that first pick and giving up that blue side can be devastating against, but won't be as much of a concern here. So just a couple of standard bans: Nautilus, Shen, Lee Sin, all, you know, top tier guys. Definitely makes sense.
So right now, pretty much looking like similar bans from last game. Last game, TGF banned out Urgot, Jackson, Shen. The Soraka actually going to go ahead and comment on this time. So, you know, no more heals, no heals, no global heals, no bonus armor, nothing like that. But that will leave an Urgot or Jax open unless Absolute Legends decides to ban out one of those. The Morgana was the third ban from game 1. May actually see that again here. But it could also speak as to what kind of team comp TGF might actually be looking to build. They don't have to go against mass heal. But here's the problem though. Now you have to go ahead and ban out Urgot.
Soraka's just all around strong. So
yeah, Soraka's is good. But Urgot or Jax, you know, leave the Urgot open. Jax could be taken up here by Absolute Legends, but then again, last game, you know, they had the Terror Corki. Could grab Anivia here as well.
Keep in mind, guys, that TGF, you know, they are missing one of their players actually. Consumac, he is a sub, so unfortunately, one of the players is not able to play right now, and you know, we'll have to see how that kind of affects things. You know, they I don't know, had kind of an interesting comp that last game, but I'm definitely excited to see how they do at MLG Anaheim. There's going to be a number of streams there, so that'll, you know, definitely be a fun all-around tournament. There's a lot of top competitors. It's going to be really cool to see how you know, TSM do and clg EU. They're some of the, you know, big favorites, but we'll have to see. We do have that first pick. It could be anything. We could see an Alistar. You know, that's definitely a strong pick. JPEG does play a lot of Alistar. Yeah. We could see you know, Janna as well, you know, for a strong support, or maybe go with like a Corki or Graves for that first pick. There's the Janna.
Actually, so, yeah, just go ahead. It's like, you know, no more AP Janna for you. We got her. We're just going to go ahead and bring her into the bot lane. Could pair up very well with the Graves, or actually, yeah, Graves. Actually, ooh, Leona being picked up along with the Riven. TGF. The Riven actually did pretty good last game. But, you know, you grab the Leona, and that's very indicative of a very aggressive bot lane. They're looking for kills. They want that kill lane. It's just a matter of who are they going to pair up with the Leona.
Yeah, and Leona is just such an aggressive support. You know, it works really well against Janna. You can kind of pick up quick kills. You can burst them down with your chain CC. Riven has the versatility to go either top or in the jungle. Normally, I would want to hold off on that pick, but, you know, it's fine as a first pick since they really like that pick clearly. The only issue is now when we have a jungler like Nocturne, you know, it's a really aggressive ganking lane. And you saw also last game, Riven having to walk right into like an Anivia. Anivia isn't banned. If we have that as a late pick for AL, then, you know, it's going to be the same kind of problems, is that we have Riven walking into the Anivia, and that's just a really difficult fight. We will have Maokai open, so TGF could pick the Maokai. There are a number of other junglers that are open that are really strong.
Yeah.
Graves being picked up, definitely a smart decision, because Graves and Leona is, you know, one of the stronger lanes in the game, but we could still have a Corki, so I would probably expect a Corki here for TGF. Corki and Leona bot, you know, has so much burst damage, is just a really strong all-around lane. And then, you know, probably pick up the jungler if they're comfortable with Riven in the top lane.
I was trying to think, you know, Riven top lane, because there is still they could grab Jax just to make sure that AL doesn't have him run like Jax jungle. But
AL is going to run Nocturne jungle. It's just
right.
I don't know. It's just a concern for. I would say we would pick up a Maokai, and that would be a really nice pickup for TGF. The concern is that they're going to force themselves into a melee team, and that's part of the issue of running that first pick Riven is. You know, right now, we have no team picked for AL. They have no idea what AL's team is going to look like, really. I mean, we have 3 picks, but it's not... Those picks for AL are just strong all-around picks. They don't, you know... necessitate any sort of team comp. So we do pick up the Corki. That makes sense. And then picking up Udyr as well. And so now having the Udyr, it gives them a little bit more flexibility. Both Udyr and Riven can go either in that top lane or in the jungle, and they work better in different matchups. So we'll have to see. It will probably be a Riven top. So Riven top versus Jax, is a generally pretty even lane matchup. We'll see how that kind of works out.
But also, not to mention, if you look at TGF, a lot of the champs they've picked already are extremely close quarters. Leona, Riven, Udyr are going to be getting right up in there, and
I mean, Anivia would still be a great pick.
Oh, Anivia would still be an amazing pick. I'm trying to think of who else. Kennen might actually also.
Kennen would definitely work.
Kennen would work. Ari's open. Ari would be amazing.
We could go. I don't know. There's a lot of options. Ari, is definitely a strong champion. Cassiopeia, Anivia just really makes so much sense, though. Yeah. It's just so much upfront CC.
It works so well game one. You might as well stick with what works. So Anivia and the Jax going to be going in for the last two members of AL. And I've said it before, say it again. Jax. Jax is the best right now, so he's doing pretty well for himself, and he's a very commonly picked, very commonly banned champ. Still, the nerf he got this patch wasn't even really a big game changer either.
Wow,
Rumble,
definitely an interesting pick. So we will have Rumble mid. It's been a while since I've seen Rumble mid. It's kind of a weird pick. Now, one of the nice things about Rumble versus Anivia, Anivia, she is generally pretty stationary, so the ult is just so effective against stationary targets, both in lane and also in team fights. So you have, Graves and Anivia sitting in the back. You have the Rumble ult. It's just such long range. You're going to hit them, be so disruptive. In lane, Anivia will generally have an advantage over Rumble. You have the range, you can harass him down, you can burst him with your Flash Frost, you're going to be very safe against him. However, if we have a gank in and Anivia goes down, Rumble will have plenty of damage to take down that egg. And Rumble is just such a heavy hitter. If he can dodge the Flash Frost, the big thing with Anivia is she needs to hit all of her Flash Frosts and she needs to be safe. If she's, if she misses a Flash Frost or she's trying to be too aggressive, she needs to use her Flash Frost in a defensive manner. If she uses it offensively and misses, that's cue for Rumble to just run straight at her, bull rush her, and use all of your damage with the Flame Spitter, with your passive, with your E, to very quickly take Anivia down. And it will be a pretty interesting matchup. Rumble is just such an aggressive champion. We'll see how it works out for them, but we do have the nice AoE bot. We have an all-around AoE team, and then some nice upfront damage dealers with both Riven and Udyr.
Yeah, sometimes it's not too uncommon to see Rumble mid, especially if you have a melee auto attack range AP mids, like sometimes you got Caston or a Gragas. But right here, the objective for TGF in the mid lane is just egg the Anivia, because Rumble, he has the damage, he can go ahead, take the egg out, no problem with the flame splitter. Flame spitter doesn't split things with flames. That'd be just kind of weird to be like a weird flame fork. Anyway, but no, if Udyr comes in for the ganks, if you egg Anivia, it's gonna be no problem. Just fire beats ice, easy. Like rock paper scissors will be good.
Yeah, we'll have to see, though, because, I mean, it's kind of a weird comp for TGF, and, AL, their comp, it's proven. It's, it's just a strong all-around comp. We have plenty of CC. We have Janna for the disengage, which is just, it's going to be great for kiting some of these melees. We have Anivia for the CC and the wall-off. They can just instantly split TGF's team in half and then burst them down, just like last game, and having a close range team against Anivia, it never feels right. It's just, you have the Rumble as your AP. It's, it will be exciting to watch. They have a lot of snowball potential, but if the game goes to like mid game or even late game, and AL can keep things together, they just have such a strong team fight team. And Jax top versus Riven, Riven does have the advantage early on, like up until probably about level 7. But then Jax, he will have the stun. He can jump, stun Riven, walk out of there. The big thing is Riven has a lot of mobility, so Riven will generally be pretty safe, be able to chase Jax down. If Riven can get an early advantage, she could, maybe shut down his farm. But either way, I think both of them will tend to be pretty safe in farming. And I don't know, we'll have to see. A lot of it might come down to the bottom lane, how many kills bot lane can get, or the mid lane, how successful Rumble is.
Yeah, I'm just noticing this now too. If you look at Leona, exhaust heal. So whenever Leona goes in for the stuns, that is a commitment. There is no real, emergency means of escape. You can exhaust, you can heal yourself, but there's still, that's we're really looking to turn up the aggression there, bot lane. But then again, Graves on his own, He's pretty tanky, but the passive from Leona along with the shred from Corki could be just enough to counter it out. But if JPEG is on point with the shields, it could really go either way. It could really go either way.
Yeah, and that's always a concern with Leona is the fact that she's such an all-in kind of champion as a support. A lot of times you can kind of bait her in with the Nocturne ult. You know, if you're ready to go with your jungle ganks, you bait in Anivia, turn it around on her. She's like, well, you know, shit, I screwed up. But I don't know, not having that flash is definitely going to be an issue. It will be a much more aggressive fighting lane, so, you know, they can maybe pick up some kills. That's really what TGF wants. They're looking to just pick up a number of early kills, and we'll have to see. I mean, I don't know. It's really they're kind of unusual comps, and I don't know if this is a preview of what they're trying to do for MLG, or if this is like, you know, secretive and they're, you know, not looking to reveal their strategies. But I don't know. Regardless, it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, but also we saw TGF last game. I could feel that, you know, a lot of their picks, like especially the Draven pick and stuff like that, is just kind of like want to go ahead and try and win the early game, but it didn't quite work out as well for them. So, I mean, if they're trying to go with the same early game strat, this time, you know, they need to actually be a little bit more effective. It needs to stick. They need to go ahead, get those early kills, and remain in the lead, not fall behind.
Yeah, I mean, Corki is just such an all-around strong champion that, you know, it's probably not as much of a concern as, you know, Draven. He lacks that kind of mobility, so they will have the damage in the background with Corki, which is going to be nice. And Corki always works very well against Jax. The big thing is, against Jax, you usually want to kite him very easily. And we don't have a kiting team. We have an all-up-close physical damage team. And, you know, what does Jax do well against? He does well against physical damage teams. You get the dodge. You just jump into the team and, you know, wreak havoc. So we'll have to see. It's, you know, I don't know. There are a number of weaknesses with TGF's team. But we'll have to see. They have a lot of snowballing potential.
So Jack's going to be staking there in the top lane. Seen him quite often before. He is quite the beast if he does manage to go ahead and get the lead. But Liquidity will be also there to just try and cancel out some of that aggression. But Anivia in the mid worked out for AL game 1. May very well work out again too. Going to be going up against the Rumble. It's going to be a little bit of a rough time. Great, but right now there is a point defense pretty much from both teams. Is going to want to make sure neither team goes for the invade, neither team gets a little bit too pushy, or if you're just content with just running back and forth, you know, because sometimes people like to do that, you know, run in circles.
We are starting off with the cloth armor for Riven, so top lane, you know, a nice little advantage for Riven versus the Jax. And Jax, he wants to have the survivability from the Udyr ganks. It can be really aggressive early on, particularly with Riven, since Riven has so much kill potential early. So, you know, needs those kind of mobility boots to keep himself alive. But with that cloth armor, Riven can be extremely aggressive against Jax and, you know, maybe pick up some early kills or even just harass him down. We'll have to see, you know, whether or not that's the case. You know, other than that, generally standard builds, but Nocturne will be able to grab his blue. We'll be pretty safe there, and then Koala, he'll be able to grab his blue as well, and we'll see kind of a standard jungle, but it is going to result in an early gank for Udyr, so he'll be up at top lane around like 330 with the double buff, level 3, and we'll see if he gets a quick gank along with Riven.
Liquidity and Pigo actually very aggressively taking the raids, leaving the one stray one, going to be a little bit of a jerk.
Actually, it's a kill lane bot.
Oh.
Well, this is a little more interesting.
This is now things just got a little bit more interesting. Rumble is sticking top. Corki's going to be going mid against the Anivia, and it's going to be Riven Leona bot lane. So this is something that's been seen before. Like MTW has done this. You know, they've done Jarvan Leona.
I kind of thought about it a little bit, but I didn't think that Riven has a lot of mobility, but I didn't think that she quite had enough mobility to work in a kill lane. And so
you're gonna find out.
You know, Rumble top versus Jax is a really nice lane matchup. Going through the lanes real quick, you know, Rumble is a little bit weak early on, but so is Jax. So Jax isn't going to be able to pressure him at all. And then you have the persistent damage with the Flame Spitter to just destroy Jax. And you have so much damage output. If you need to, you have the range farming, so you're going to be safe. Corki versus Anivia. AD versus AP. AD always, you know, has the advantage. So you have the harass advantage with Corki. You can take advantage of that lane, so that's definitely going to be really nice as well. The issue is, you know, if Anivia is able to get the burst, that's going to be fine. But generally speaking, Corki should win that lane matchup. Now bot lane, kill lane, Leona is, one of the most common picks with the kill lanes. Works very well in that situation. They got the, they have the early level advantage from taking those race, so they will be able to get in there. Basically, the idea is you want to play defensively, and then just when you find opportunities, jump in, try and pick up quick kills. And, the issue is that Janna is so safe against kill lanes, and Janna is really the hardest counter to kill lanes. You have Graves as well. Graves has the dash out. So we actually have Nocturne coming up top. Going to get some nice damage, but we'll back off.
Yep.
When Leona and Riven are trying to engage on Graves, he's just going to run out of there. And when they're not trying to engage, Graves is going to constantly harass them down and have the range advantage in that lane. So kind of screwy. There's a lot of kill potential, but it's going to be pretty tough to do. We actually have a fight. If he can egg him, then Corki get this kill. If you attack him, he's got him egged. He is the ignite is down. We'll have to back off. Not quite enough damage, but the early egg is definitely nice.
Yeah, but also to note, Corki in the mid, ridiculously low on mana for the time being. All that harass did come at a price, and he's going to be a little bit weaker. May actually have to backshoot.
Nocturne actually ganking mid, though, and with the fear, the red buff, they will get that kill. One more attack, the first blood for Anivia.
Nah, barely. Oh my god. Both of them,
and
like
Anivia
50.
was egg, so the egg is down. That would have been
your
a death.
insurance is not there anymore, but both of them
if
managed
we had
to
a
escape.
flash from Udyr, we could get this kill, but Anivia should be safe enough. And here's the issue. The issue with this bot lane is just the ranged offensive from Graves can slowly wear them down, and there's not a good means of engaging against Janna. Janna counters out kill lanes so effectively, so it's really weird to pick a kill lane into a Janna just because of how strong the Whirlwind is.
Yeah, so where we also, Graves, he's already far ahead. Oh, there you actually go get the Q, going for the engage. Want to try and solo out Graves quickly as possible. Liquidity does get exhausted and ignited, and Cashers, he's going in for the kill. The ignite does expire, getting away with about 30 health, but Pinku may not be so lucky, forcing the heal, but there we go. The heal will actually be enough for TGF to live in this bot lane.
But Nocturne is here as well.
Nocturne,
will dissuade them.
The Q could have been enough. The Q could have been enough, but there is the fear. He is feared.
Oh, Janna actually could have picked that up with an auto attack if she had been there, but backing off. And so, hey, the kill lane's the greatest thing ever. It works.
Hey, barely.
It's actually, barely. And
worked.
The thing is, you saw very early when they were pressing it, it was about the best engage they could get onto Graves. I mean, it was as good as it gets. But even so, Graves and Janna actually won that upfront engage. They had them on the ropes. They won it pretty easily. They were going to be safe. And then they just chased a little bit too far, and they turned around with the heal on Leona. They were able to come back, just barely pick up the Graves. So that definitely worked out for them. Kind of a little bit of an over pursuit from AL, but we'll have to see. I mean, with an early advantage, that could definitely change the whole nature of this lane. That goes along. The cloth armor was a nice decision. When you have the ranged harass from Graves, to know I need to keep myself up because I need to, one, farm and not fall really far behind in farm, and then two, I need to be walking up and then, queuing him to the face. And if I can't, then if he's harassing me, then I just can't, I won't be able to do it. So we'll see how it works now. They have a lot of mobility. All that burst from Anivia working out so well, and Corki really struggling to get off any harass damage.
So as you see, Riven just going in, trying to get in for the harass, does just escape with just being hit once by the Graves, and Riven actually does have a level advantage over the Graves here in the bot lane, about a third of a level, and it's a pretty decently sized lead. But still, once these champs hit 6, remember that's a lot more damage output capable from both of them. You're gonna have the damage buff on Riven along with the little wave, and you also got the ult from Graves, which can just be absolutely devastating in the middle of a team fight.
We could actually tower dive this Jax top if we have the Udyr stun. We have plenty of damage from Rumble.
They're just gonna keep him still.
Once the silence is down, they will actually back off. I think part of it is that they're concerned about Nocturne's involvement, but they can come down, and because Jax has to farm up top, they can come steal this blue buff, not allow Anivia to get blue. So hey, a change of pace from last game to this game. Finally, they're pressuring the blue. Unfortunately, Jax is here, and so is Anivia. The Flash Frost coming onto Udyr, followed up with the Jax. He did get the stun off, and Nocturne is here as well. Unfortunately, Corki is behind them. We have the Rumble ult going down, and actually Anivia will go down, so they pick up the first kill. Udyr did get out of there. Can we get the second and third one? Kiko Me Please does go down, and now they are trying to chase after Nocturne. He should be able to get away, but actually the flash from Kuhn along with the slow, he missed one of them, but he has plenty of damage. The fear, can the fear go off? Just barely proccing, but the flame spitter should take take him
Oh,
down.
wow.
So another couple of kills, 3 kills for TGF really quickly. They will be able to take this blue, and that's what you want to see against Nivea. Pressure the blue early, shut her down.
So now you see the comp at work. Corki mid lane was actually there. Just he had all the mobility. He had the Valkyrie over, just getting all the damage necessary. The wall from Nivea almost actually pinched in the Udyr, but still though you're so far out there, and no egg. And this is what they need. I mean, they have an aggressive snowball comp. They need early kills, and hey, they're getting early kills. Mitzvah, it's great. But we'll have to see. I mean, we still have a really strong team fight team for AL. I mean, the AoE from Graves. So we have, the late game that Jax has, and the dodge against a melee comp, and then having all this huge melee team right in front of Anivia. That's going to be, a terrifying prospect later on. But if we can control the Anivia Blues, and if we can get early farm advantages and early kill advantages, very quickly this could work out for them. But not to mention, though, even in the middle of these team fights, Kyoan's going to be quite sustaining with the revolver and the and the flame splitter. Going to be doing so much magic damage. You got to keep on topping himself off with the shield as well. Riven with the proper farm. It looks like she's going for a brutalizer here as well, so extra cooldown, extra armor pen with that. But still, it's the Anivia wall and Jax could actually just be enough to actually really turn the tides of these fights. If you can just isolate Rumble, if you can get Rumble. Or if you get Rumble just out of the fight period, so you can actually focus down Corki, focus down Leona, you can actually see Absolute Legends really just walk away with these. And the team fights could actually just come down, the game could just come down to walls.
Yeah, that's definitely true, considering, I mean, that we have such a short-range team. But Rumble with the 2-0 advantage over Jax is definitely a nice opportunity for them, because Rumble can snowball very quickly. He's actually building a Woda, and it's been a while since I've seen a Woda first build, but definitely works out. We do have Riven engaging on the Graves. He will be fine, but unfortunately Nocturne is up top. We have the Nocturne ultimate. He actually is frozen. That is the weirdest thing I have ever seen.
He flashed during it. What?
Oh, go back a second. We'll just take a look
what happened with this Nocturne?
We actually have Jax engaging. We'll be able to get off the stun. He actually uses, it engage. The flash.
I think he accidentally flashed during his ult.
And I didn't realize that would cancel the ult. That's a
that's
I don't know if that's a bug or
that's another Rift myth.
I'm assuming that's a bug, but I don't know if that's it's always done that. So, unfortunately not able to get the engage. It still probably would have been a tough kill, but they did have a lot of damage output. Jax's Ignite was down for the meantime, but actually we have an engaged bot. The double kill for
we're
Riven.
watching that again.
We're definitely watching that again.
We are watching that
Corki
again.
coming down, and so they will have the engage, and it probably all starts off with Leona. Graves a little bit out of position. The Leona ultimate able to pick it up really easily. All of that AoE damage very quickly bursting them down.
Nice from Liquidity. Very nice.
The sweep of the arm. Yeah,
just
nice.
Moving worlds with the sword. Wow.
And they will be able to get this tower as well if they decide to. They're actually just going to back off of it. I don't know if they want to pressure this dragon.
I think they're just going to go dragon.
Yeah, and so that definitely works out for them. Continue their gold advantage, so push it up to a 4,000 gold advantage. And, Rumble, in the meantime, in so much control of that top lane, it's just, really awesome to see. And, at this point, because Rumble snowballs, Jax just can't farm as effective as he wants to, because Rumble's just going to keep on pursuing him, just keep on running right at him with that Flame Spitter, and just, force him out of this lane.
And you'll also notice that TGF is not exactly in a rush and all too much of a hurry to get damage on these turrets, because they recognize now that they have a pretty hefty lead. They want to keep AL in the lanes. The longer they can keep AL in the lanes, the further of an advantage they're going to go ahead and gain in the long run. So you're going to see a very slow push on these turrets while TGF's leads just begins to further extend. But actually, no, there's a Brutalizer picked up by Riven, along with 2 more longswords.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm assuming one of them is going to turn into a Hex Tech, and then the other one, it could just be that she wanted some, quick damage.
Yeah.
Damage is always a good thing when you're going for a kill lane, and if she can't afford, the full items that she wants to, she's like, all right, well, I'll get some quick damage. I'll sell them later. No big deal. And it's going to be such an aggressive lane, considering how much damage Riven has now. And, now the whole Janna thing, it's kind of a moot point, because if we get an engage onto Graves, there's just so much follow-up burst. We will see Leona jumping in the quick dash, able to get out of there. But they have control of this lane now, which is kind of unusual for a kill lane. But, kill lanes, they do counter out standard lane comps very well if you get any early advantages. So, Graves, his farm is going to be so down. He's not going to have the damage output he needs in fights. He went with the double Dorans early, so as a result, he's actually, if they can zone him and stop him from farming, he probably won't have a finished tier 2 item until about 25 or so minutes into the game. So really late in the game, and already TGF, they have a very aggressive early game team. So if they can force Graves to have, to push his items build back later into the game, that'll be huge for them. In the meantime, Anivia should be able to grab this blue. They are set up. Rumble is coming down, but he's going to be walking right into him. We'll back off. So Anivia will get it, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, Kyung just wanting to come down, poke out, see what's going on at the enemy blue. He's got the timer on respawn. He's trying to get there just in time as it gets there, but Ward going down. He knows he's outnumbered. He's not going to be able to grab it. Really all too easy. Just better let Udyr kind of go out, scout ahead, see what's going on. Want to go ahead and still secure the lead up top. Does not want to give away any free deaths to anyone at this point. He's 2-0-1. He's got a pretty healthy lead over the Jax, and it actually managed to finish and build the Woda. So it's a little bit extra AP, a little bit extra spell vamp for him top lane. Mid lane. Let's actually also take a quick look though, because Corki, he's about he's behind a level, but ahead in gold, which is. It happens sometimes, just because you're behind doesn't mean you're behind necessarily. He's got the gold to catch up.
Yep.
Definitely got the gold to catch up.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I mean, Anivia is just an all-around strong laner, but we do have some nice advantages for TGF right now. And actually wearing down Riven, the ultimate along with the ignite, they use the heal. They will be able to get out of there. Pinku will be okay as well, but just a little bit too much harass from that range. We do have Nocturne coming up here, but Udyr is here as well, and Jax is pretty low, so we could see a tower dive here. Nocturne actually recalling with Udyr. I really wouldn't be surprised to see them tower dive this Jax.
Yep, so Jax, he's just not a whole lot that can be done. Just try and keep Kyun under tower, but after that, there's still not a whole lot to be done.
Yeah, and kind of a little bit hesitant. They don't really know where Nocturne is. They saw Nocturne, I think, walk past the ward, but then they don't know that he recalled. So he did go into the bush by top turret. And so as a result, they didn't have vision of him. They might think that he's there. They don't want to have a hard engage. So we'll be able to just kind of sit up here, take this tower, continue their pushing advantages. So a nice tower up top. Bot lane definitely in control as well. We'll see if they can use this to snowball. I mean, if they have any early fights, they should be at a really strong advantage. The only issue is that they're all going to be walking right into Anivia.
Yep, so Anivia returning back into the mid, but top tier 1 for AL will actually fall. And TGF, they're in a pretty good spot. Nocturne ult, where's it going? He's going into the mid, trying to focus down the Corki under tower, and they will actually go ahead and get it. Nocturne's a little bit weak at the moment, though. Don't be taking that tower. There we go. But Rumble coming in with the ult. The wall going to prevent the push from TGF there in mid. Legendary Josh, he's still far out, even though despite the flash, he will actually get killed.
Excellent work, Jana. Get him out of there. We have Riven with the follow-up, though, and so they will be able to back off. So almost going down, actually, but it worked out for them, 1 for 1. They had enough burst to take down Nocturne pretty easily, but I think the concern is that they're going to be right in the middle of the team. I think Anivia's thought was, if I'm going to force them back towards our tower, and then they're going to have a longer walk. But unfortunately, they did just kind of move right out of the way. So Jana's thought was, I'm going to force them back to our tower. But they moved out of the way. So Jana, forcing them out of there didn't really work as well as they would like. And we'll be fine. But we'll see. One of the issues with running an aggressive melee team is you lose a lot of tower pushing capability. And you have a lot of kill potential in fights. I mean, their fighting potential is just off the charts right now with, Rumble and with Corki and Leona and whatnot. But when it comes down to pushing towers, Anivia can stall all day, Graves can stall all day, and, for a long time, these melee champions aren't going to be able to just walk up and, attack these turrets. It's just going to be too dangerous for them.
And now I'm also realizing Nocturne has, once again, just like in Game 1, didn't do too a lot for TGF, and now Nocturne back here in Game 2 on AL side, he's not also really contributing that much either. Like, in comparison to Udyr, he's down a little bit in gold, and he's only, he's died twice also. So it's kind of like, just trying to think, what contributions can Nocturne actually make against this team? Because if you go in, especially when you start heading later on into the team fight phase, you're just going to be right in the middle of a whole bunch of melee champs, plus the Rumble, plus you got Corki plugging away at everyone. He's a pretty big target. He's pretty squishy at this point.
But, I mean, you will have the fear. You're going to be able to force some damage out of Corki. Corki taking some quick damage. Actually, can Graves finish it off? No. Cannot. And so he uses the ultimate. We do have the rest of the team coming in from the side, though, and they are way out of position. If we have that Leona engaged, there's the ultimate. Nice. And the ultimate for Rumble as well. The perfect combo. They get all of their damage off. Very quickly, they're able to burst down the team. We have Jax. Will be exhausted, but will go down as well. Actually, barely able to get out of there. The Anivia does go down. We have the triple kill for Riven, trying to engage on this Nocturne. He should really just stand still, because it'd be really cool to see Riven get a bunch of kills. But even so, just almost instantly, they vaporize the enemy team. They can take the Baron off of this. Rumble, he has his ultimate up. He is still very high health, so there is the threat of a steal. But still, the rest of the team, they should be tanky enough, even if it's only 18 minutes with the shields on Udyr and the shields on Riven. They're going to be fine. They can tank this. Udyr needs to get a little bit closer, so they will be fine, be able to take this. Rumble just working on zoning Nocturne. He's actually going to chase him down. He has plenty of damage to do it, but we'll back off, and so a Baron goes to TGF.
Yeah, they won that fight. They won that fight.
Oh, Nocturne's going to come in, though.
Nocturne, are you still going to try and get something? No.
Nope.
Nah. Nothing doing. Not going to be doing a whole lot there. But
so
TGF
nice play from TGF.
TGF is taking these fights pretty convincingly. You saw that last fight, Legendary Josh was pretty much full health. They just ignored him. They just ignored Nocturne completely. It's like, he's really, inconsequential. He's not really, contributing a whole lot to these team fights. We can just ignore him, focus down everybody else on AL, and just win. And just go ahead. They managed to grab the Baron because they had such a huge advantage. A 19-minute Baron at that, which is pretty early for most games, and it's just we'll come back again at about the 26-minute mark. But this is the opportunity for TGF to go ahead and start pressuring all these lanes. They can go ahead and grab Dragon for free even if they want to, and I would after Dragon, I would suspect they just go straight push right up the mid.
Yeah, and the big thing is they do need to. Well, see, it's kind of weird. They can't push up the mid because I don't know, they don't have a good pushing team. Like, AL can just stall them all the time. So taking Dragon, definitely a huge benefit, but they'll probably end up just splitting up again. So, if they could get a team fight, if they can force a team fight, that's awesome. Like, that is beyond cool. They might decide that they just want to tower dive the turrets, but that's going to be a risky prospect. So,
but you have the Rumble ult, though. You have all the damage coming in from Corki, and you also got the Leona ult as well for that initiation. If they just, if AL just gathers up under a turret, the Leona ult will just be more than enough. I mean, there's a wall of, it hasn't been leveled up too much, so it's not going to be doing too much to try and control these fights. But even then, mid tower is already half health, another wave, and that thing may very well go down.
Yeah, so we'll have to see, but if we get another Anivia wall, followed up with a Flash Frost, so don't use the Flash Frost to clear the creeps, then they're really going to have to watch out. They could get someone picked off underneath the tower, really quickly lose their Baron advantage. So they need to be really defensive about this, unless they want to have a hard engage, and there's the hard engage.
That's what they're trying to get off this. The Leona going down, trying to focus down Anivia, but the tornado actually sending Leona high up into the air. But you know what? It kept him away. It kept him away from the fight, managing to go ahead and take the turret pretty easy. And they can grab another off of this one too. Once you pop, you just can't stop, and you're going to go ahead and grab the tier 2 as well.
Yeah, and so tanking it pretty easily. The Rumble ultimate just completely zoning them out. Not even, they're fine. Like, either we're going to have a one fight or you're going to back off. So that definitely works out for them. They will wait for the next wave. We do have Jax just throwing off his dodge a little bit, so that's actually going to be on cooldown. And, we could see some nice aggression. Anivia is back. They weren't able to pick up any kills, but really quickly they're dropping this tower. There's the Anivia wall. We need the Flash Frost to follow it up, but not really able to catch anyone.
But every time a minion wave comes on in, it's just going to be rinse and repeat. TGF, they still are going to have this Baron buff for quite a while. So about 2/3 done. They can definitely get the tower and even the inhibitor off of this too with the next wave and a half even. Should be able to just go ahead and grab it. But here's the thing though, Rumble ult should actually be up. We've got about 15 seconds until that thing comes up. We just go ahead and do what they did in tier 1. So that wave has pretty much gone. So waiting for the next one. The Rumble ult will be back up this next wave so they can go ahead and engage once again upon Absolute Legends. And Nivea is there laying in wait to try and get the stun, to try and get the wall on someone, anyone, to keep them behind. But still, that wall is only level 1. It can only be so wide. Graves throwing down the smoke screen, trying to split them up just a little bit. Keon, will you actually go in with the ult? There it is once again. Koala trying to run in, trying to get something on anybody, but the Leona ult will be able to focus down the Anivia. She is egged, but not for long. Kingo should be in the next one in the pecking order. Jax can only do so much. Keon will actually be able to get out of there, but Legendary Josh is also caught behind. Has to flash over the wall of his own base, and that will be it. J-Pack is back at the base for safety, but that's it. Baron buff is gone. TGF did what they wanted to do. Going to go ahead and take the tier 3 and the inhibitor.
Yeah, so TGF with the, just super aggressive team, win hard or die trying. I mean, that's basically the thought.
They won pretty hard.
They just, all out aggression, just completely bull rush the enemy. And, screw it. It's either going to work or it isn't. Like, it's an all or nothing comp, and it is 100% work this game. 16-4 over Absolute Legends. They get the inhibitor down. Now with that inhibitor down, they don't have to worry about stalling at a tower. They can easily push down another one. We do see top is pretty low. It's going to take some nice damage from those minions, so they can just transition there as well. Udyr actually going to go bottom and push that on his own. Could take down that turret, and then we'll see a continued push, but they are just absolutely crushing Absolute Legends right now.
So now that's the thing, though. With a lot of these all-or-nothing comps, you can only ever really use them once. And Game 2...
We'll see.
We'll see.
You say they can only use them once. TGF's going to be like, screw that. We're listening. We have someone on the inside telling us what's going on in the stream. They'll be like, hey, they said you can only use this comp once. Well, all right, we'll bring it back game number 2 and
very
win
well
then.
lose with it, but that's the thing, though, is that AL can actually go ahead and find the specific parts of TGF's comp that really worked out well for him. And you also, but that's the thing, you notice every single fight now at this point in the stage of the game, starting out with the Rumble ult, because it's actually that effective, that much of a slow, that much damage, and that's how TGF is winning these fights, with that just fantastic initiation coming from Rumble.
Yeah, and so in the meantime, they do push down this top turret, or bottom turret. Riven is going to be split pushing top, so, it's kind of an interesting decision. Riven at this point should be able to 1v1 anyone in the game. I mean, Riven is just so far beyond fed. So what it does is, Jax won't be able to be in the fight. They're going to have to split up top, and they know they're really strong without Riven, but they are going to miss out on some of that damage. They do kind of threaten that Riven gets picked off, but we'll see how it works. Riven, still going to split push, and so as long as Jax stays up there, that's definitely a win for them. If Jax leaves, then Riven, could take the advantages, and Riven actually just, kind of getting some nice damage on this, but we'll see if we have the same kind of hard engage without the follow-up that Riven has.
Yeah, but Riven's she's just fine on his own.
Or just transition top. So
yeah.
TGF actually going to make their way up there.
Corki going to stay behind.
A little bit slow behind.
Yeah, Corki's going to go ahead and stay behind and try and see what he can finish up. And Keon coming from behind the top turret, behind the top tier 2, and you actually see them now transitioning over. Just checking to see is Blue there? No, Blue's not there. Well, what else can we grab? Baron should actually be up in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
So
they had the really early Baron.
Not sure why Koala's backing.
I'm sure they know the timer.
Rando and Zoman, that's actually a pretty good reason. And plus Oracles, that's actually a really good reason.
And so they are actually going to rush this Baron, and he will be back in time to fight. But if they rush it fast enough, there won't be enough time for AL to engage, then they are actually coming up here. So we will have a fight. They won't be able to sneak it. We'll have to see how that works out.
Spot. Graves is really far away from the rest of the team. Castro is just trying to farm up as best he can, but he needs
they
to
actually
be with his team.
Just started the Baron, so they are doing it now. And they will be trapped in that Anivia pit. That's going to be a concern for them. If we have the Anivia wall off, get some AoE damage in there, it could wear them down, but they're actually pretty tanky, so they have plenty of damaging capabilities for that Baron. Very easily, they just take it down. Nocturne trying to get in there, trying to get the steal. Can he do it? Nope. He actually does not do it, so it does go down.
It doesn't do actually a whole lot of anything, but that was just sheer desperation move in Absolute Legends news. Like, listen, if we don't steal this Baron, there's really no hope, and that was really the last straw. Nocturne tried to get in. It's like, you can do it, man. You can be a hero. You can go in and you can ult and you can smite that thing and you can win the game for all. Never mind.
And in the meantime, TGF going to be taking down this top turret. Corki is coming here as well, and neither Jax nor Graves are there. We have Corki running down Anivia now. The Flash Frost is gone, and number 1 Ink will go down very quickly. The Janna ult is not enough, so we have the exhaust, but they will be able to engage, and so both Janna and Anivia will be going down. Janna actually with the flash out, so is going to be okay, but the inhibitor is going to go down, We have Graves and Jax both pushing down bot,
Base
but it doesn't really matter. This is giving up their Nexus. I mean, it's over. Now TGF is going to be able to push in. They will be able to take this game, and it will go to game number 3. 1-1 TGF with a really aggressive kill comp, working out perfectly for them.
Yeah, so now at this point, AL is just throwing themselves at TGF, trying to win this base race. But you know what? It's not, 2 against 5. That does not work out, and there you go. Game number 2 gonna go to Team Green Forest. We're gonna be going to game number 3, and you know what? The comp, it works out sometimes. It just absolutely works sometimes, and this was definitely one of those instances.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an unusual comp. You saw, early on bot lane, Riven and Leona, I mean, it was really aggressive, but it all kind of started that first kill that, just was barely gotten onto Graves. And Graves and Janna would be pretty safe against that comp. It would be very difficult to harass them down. We saw Graves and Janna won the exchange, but then got a little bit greedy, tried to rush them down, and then, it turned around on them. So the quick kill, that definitely helped out a lot. Then we saw, some kills under Rumble, and that triple kill up by, the Dragon, or not a triple kill, a double kill, and then another kill up by the blue buff was huge. So, both
That's
bot
exactly
lane,
what they needed.
Both bot lane and top lane were snowballing. And at that point, they had, such a great AoE team. They were able to win the fights very quickly. It was just cool. It was fun to watch. They had a really exciting team. We'll see what AL does coming into game number 2, how they're going to kind of counter that out some. We might see a Leona ban. Leona was really key to that comp. So you can't... Yeah. Leona is really one of the strongest kill lane champions bot, and then, gave them the AoE initiation along with Rumble. But you can kind of deal with Rumble. You can deal with all these other champions. But Leona was devastating. So we'll see whether or not that's banned out or not.
Leona was a very devastating part of that team, but like I said before, the fights were initiated by the Rumble.
Yeah.
And, it's... Sometimes you can counter out aggression with aggression and with more aggression in the bot lane. Sometimes you can go ahead and grab a Taric or even an Alistar sometimes, and just kind of just trade kills and try and muscle your way in. And I think if there's an Alistar in the bot lane instead of a Janna, things may have gone differently. But
Janna was the right decision. It's
right.
I mean, Alistar, would be more aggressive. It would open up killing opportunities. The headbutt away would be nice if you headbutt away Riven. That definitely would be a very safe lane as well. But
yeah.
Janna is generally pretty safe.
Yeah.
Hey, you're right. I mean, Alistar would be really aggressive.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. I mean, I would expect a Rumble ban more than a Leona ban, if anything. But then again, TGF is here. I mean, TGF is actually their first pick, first ban here going into game number 3. I don't know. That's a lot of decisions that AL needs to make. But you know what? We'll give them some time to mull it over. We'll give some time for you to go ahead and take a quick little break. Go to the bathroom, get a snack, do whatever you need to do. We're going to be heading in very shortly to game number 3, Team Green Forest versus Absolute Legends NA. We will be back in just a moment, so do please stay tuned.